What's up, YouTube? Alright, take another crack at this. As I was saying before something or someone shut me off, I hate making these, so this is not something I want to do, but I feel like I wouldn't be doing my part if I don't talk about the things I've seen or something, the things I have witnessed. And something went down today regarding my father. My father's in dialysis, and he lives in a long-term care facility, and one of his legs was amputated a couple years back, and so he's pretty much, he has people care for him, nurses, whatnot, but he's on dialysis, and he goes there 3 days a week. And we had the discussion about the jabs, the things they're rolling out, and he had mentioned that he would, if they come to him and said that he had to take it or he couldn't, he could no longer come to dialysis, and if he did that, they say he would have like 2 weeks to a month to live. So it's it'd be a pretty pretty tough decision to make if that were to happen. And they came at him about a week ago, and he told them no, and they pressed him pretty hard to take it, but he stood his ground, and they didn't give it to him. But that was like 2 weeks ago, I think. And I stay in contact with him, every day if I can. And he's like 73, 74 or something. And well, my sister, I hadn't talked to him for a couple of days, and my sister messaged me and said that he was moved to the closest city to us. Like he and my sister and most of my family live out in the rural, out kind of in the country. And she had let me know that they took him to a emergency room or hospital, something. I don't know, because I never did figure out where he was. When I called to talk to him, the people there were real tight-lipped, like no one wanted to talk for some reason, and that was the first thing that made me feel a little uneasy about the whole deal. And when I got to talk to him, my sister said he was hallucinating, and I know that I had just, I talked to him all the time, and he was fine. And then she said that he went to dialysis and something had happened to him, and that he was acting funny, And so when I got a hold of him, finally, he was not acting right, and he kind of let me know that he may have taken it, and I don't know for sure. I've called the dialysis place and excuse me, the hospital, the emergency room that he was in, and it's Saturday night, and the people that I just called today, I just found out about all this today, and I called up there, and no one really wanted to talk. Everyone acted really funny. They wouldn't give me the names of the doctors or the nurses that cared for him while he was at the emergency room. The dialysis place said that the doctors give him too much of two different kinds of medicine two of which that he shouldn't have been taking, being how he's on dialysis. So it's a big mixed up deal. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it right now, but guys, I'm telling you, I've known this. I've seen what's going down, and I don't talk about it that much because, you know, if you can't talk to people about it, in which most people I cannot have this conversation with, and so I don't say much about it because, you know, there's just too many zombies out there, too many people just sleeping that have no idea about anything, or if they do, they just don't want to talk about it because it makes them feel uncomfortable and they don't want to deal with it right now, which is the dumbest thing you could do in a situation, you know, like this, with all that's going down. But the main thing that I would want to tell you is, man, don't be afraid. Don't have any fear. That's the worst thing you could do. Before this happened to my dad, me and him was having a conversation, and he brought up David. And he was talking about all the things that David did that God, Yahuwah wasn't as mad at him as he was at David when David took the census of his men. Because all the battles before, Yah had won those. And it didn't matter how many soldiers or what kind of army David had, he won. You know, he defeated his enemies for him. And so when he took that census, it was like he forgot who was fighting the battles for him. And he wanted to know how many soldiers he had, how big his army or military was compared to his opponents, instead of relying solely on the one that had won all the battles for you before. So instead of just, when the battle came, going straight head first, completely ignoring the number of soldiers or the size of army you had, and knowing who was fighting for you. And this decision that we're all probably going to have to make in the future, if not near future, it's going to be a decision like that. If you weigh the risk, if you weigh the pain or suffering or whatever you may go through in order to stand your ground and say no, the consequences of saying no, if you weigh those over what you would have if you say no, the rewards you would have, if you even stop to weigh anything and not just have the faith of saying no right off the bat, giving no cares what the consequences are. That's the only thing that's going to get you through this. You know, we know what time it is, and it says that we're all going to be faced with this decision. And we know that it's most of us, I know, and I know others like me that know that this is the time ain't far from when we might have to make that decision. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. But if I ain't, and this decision comes to us before we, quicker than what we think, and we have to make that decision. The only decision to make is to say no, regardless of what you are faced with, what consequences comes with it.